Hello, listeners. It's Broadcaster 7 here. Hollywood has always had a certain appeal to most people. The glam and the lights attracting people from all around the world to Tinseltown. But under all the plastic and glitz hide shadows. The shadows of broken dreams and nightmares. Today, we're talking about 5 real-life celebrity ghost encounters. So buckle up, because things are about to get a little spooky. Peter Jackson. In the heart of New Zealand's tranquil landscapes, far from the dazzling spectacle of Hollywood, acclaimed director Peter Jackson found himself ensnared in a nightmarish tale that transcended the realm of his own cinematic creations. Known for his masterwork on the Lord of the Rings series, he was about to confront a horror more chilling than any fantasy he had ever envisioned. The haunting occurred in an innocuous apartment tucked away in Wellington's Courtenay Place. Little did he know that the walls of this apartment would bear witness to an encounter with the supernatural, a malevolent force that would defy any reason. It was a morning like any other, the sun casting rays of light through drawn curtains. But as Jackson stirred from his sleep, he was greeted by a bone-chilling sound, a woman's agonizing scream, rending the air with its piercing wail. Panic gripped him as he saw a ghostly apparition, a phantom figure with features contorted with a visage of pure terror, her eyes accusing him with a piercing glare. The room grew frigid as a spectral woman stood at the end of his bed. Her unrelenting gaze bore into his very mind. Paralyzed by fear, Jackson could do nothing but watch in horror as the ghostly specter defied the laws of existence. Gliding effortlessly, she moved with an eerie grace, her form flickering like a dying ember, until she vanished into the very walls that confined her to the shadows. As Jackson sat in the bed, a shiver coursing through his veins, he questioned the sanity of his own eyes. Could such a nightmarish apparition truly exist? It was a question that echoed in his mind. It was then that his wife, Fran, entered the room, her arrival punctuated by a confession. Her response sent shockwaves through Jackson's already rattled psyche. Was it the woman with the screaming face, she asked, her words an unsettling confirmation of what he had just seen. Fran had seen the same horrific entity in the same room, an encounter that took place 2 years prior. Fascinated with what he had seen, Jackson delved into the lore surrounding the St. James Theater, which was located next to his apartment. He found a tale of a woman who had met a tragic end after a disastrous vaudeville performance, driven to despair by the jeers and boos of an unforgiving audience. Her spirit, forever scarred by the torment of that night, can be seen in that apartment building, her screams reverberating through the walls that have bore witness to her suffering. Matthew McConaughey. In the shadows of the Hollywood Hills, where fame and fortune coalesce with the darker side of human nature, actor Matthew McConaughey found himself thrust into a nightmarish encounter that would haunt his very soul. In 2009, he was promoting his romantic comedy, Ghosts of Girlfriends Past, when he shared a chilling tale of his own, a ghostly story that defied all rationality. It all started after McConaughey purchased an old Hollywood mansion, one of those houses from the heyday of Tinseltown, the kind where you would see those famous Hollywood parties that have since become legend. A few weeks after moving in, Matthew McConaughey, in a sober state of mind you, found himself face to face with an otherworldly presence, a specter of an elderly woman known only as Madame Blue, in a dark hallway. The air grew thick with an unspoken terror as a sense of foreboding gripped the actor. He said that Madame Blue was no benign apparition. Her anger at having her residence encroached upon was apparent. This apparently went on for weeks. Fear gnawed at his senses, but the actor, possessed by an indomitable resolve, stood his ground against the encroaching spirit. He would not yield to this spirit, not in his own home. After a very loud night of activity, McConaughey summoned his courage and confronted the ghostly presence that lived in the room at the end of the dark hallway. With trembling hands, he swung open the door and yelled at the ghost. "You can move around all you want," he declared, "but I'm not going anywhere." Weeks passed, and the haunting persisted, but just a little more quieter. Each visitor who crossed the threshold of McConaughey's home would walk down that hallway, and unprompted by Matthew, experienced something paranormal. Whether it was a dark feeling or actually seeing the ghostly madam, the encounters became consistent. As time passed, a slow transformation overcame the room. The once feared specter, Madame Blue, seemed to cast a benign spell over those who dared to enter. People who initially despised the room for its sinister reputation now found themselves drawn to it. It seemed that the madam had slowly accepted McConaughey and his friends. The haunting tale of Madame Blue would forever etch itself in the annals of Hollywood's most chilling legends. A room once cursed by her malevolent presence had become a magnet for the curious, a place where the living dared to commune with the dead. Miley Cyrus. In the heart of London, during her 2009 European tour, pop sensation Miley Cyrus stumbled upon a nightmarish encounter that would haunt her for years. In an apartment that she had rented, a malevolent presence defied explanation. The apartment, once a humble bakery transformed into living quarters, concealed a secret past, a haunted history. Cyrus began to sense something amiss when she started to have the nightmares. She explained that these were not your run-of-the-mill nightmares, but more like night terrors that shook her to the core. After nights of unrest, things began to escalate. One dark night, after Miley had settled down, a blood-curdling scream broke the silence in the apartment. It came from her sister in the bathroom. Rushing to her aid, Cyrus discovered her sibling trapped in the shower. The water's temperature had somehow been twisted and stuck to searing hot. Miley's sister swore the shower handle had turned by itself. But the horrors did not end there. Cyrus herself experienced a spine-tingling encounter of her own. The next day, she was taking a shower in the same bathroom when she saw a spectral figure, a young boy, his hollow eyes fixated on her, perched on the bathroom sink. The sighting shook Miley to the core. Just as fast as he appeared, the boy was gone. Even Miley's mother, initially skeptical, could no longer deny the strange forces at play in that apartment. Miley's aunt entered the apartment one day after visiting the store, unaware of the previous encounters. As she walked into the apartment, she froze in terror, as she discovered all the doors and windows flung open, despite being locked and secured just moments before. After doing a little research, Miley discovered that the bakery used to be a home to a family many years before. Apparently, the mother and father had passed relatively young, leaving the bakery to the son. The son never married and lived out his days alone in that place until he, too, died in that place. Miley wondered if the boy was the same one that she saw in the shower that night. Could his soul still be living on in that place? By then, Miley had had enough of that apartment. She left and vowed never to come back. She has never been able to explain what happened to her and her family in that apartment. She says that the boy in that bathroom still keeps her up at night to this day. Dale Earnhardt Jr. The 2004 Grand Prix of Sonoma is etched into Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s memory for more than just one reason. That year, as he drove his Corvette through the winding course, fate had a harrowing twist in store. As Dale raced to qualify for the competition, everything was going fine. He was making good time, and he was racing well. But in an instant, the thrill of the race turned into a nightmare. After veering off course, Earnhardt collided with the barrier, causing a fuel line to rupture. Things got worse from there after the fuel line sparked and the car was engulfed in flames. Dale Earnhardt was trapped in the Corvette, suffering second and third degree burns on his neck, chest, and legs. Panic set in as he realized the gravity of the situation. He was trapped, his escape route blocked by flames. Then miraculously, someone pulled him out and rescue crew members brought him to safety. Dale had the distinct memory of someone pulling him out of the car. Initially, he thought it was one of the corner workers because he felt somebody put their hands under his armpits and pull him out of the car. Later, at the hospital, when asked about who had saved him, he was told he must have gotten out himself. He was found lying outside of the burning car. He had no memory of climbing out of that car himself. The incident remains a strange mystery, a brush with the unexplained that defied all logical explanation. Earnhardt Jr. could only describe it as an encounter beyond the realm of the ordinary. It was a moment that left him pondering the mysteries of the paranormal. The retired NASCAR legend concluded with a sense of wonder that it was the closest thing to supernatural he had ever encountered. Micheal Jackson. It seems that Micheal Jackson is still living at Neverland Ranch, years after his death. An air of eeriness descended upon the once majestic property that seems to terrify anyone who dares to set foot within the darkened halls. The staff left in charge of the property's upkeep have reported strange occurrences, objects moving and falling on their own, strange voices and singing out of nowhere, shapes moving in the mirrors, and even shadowy specters dancing in the hallways. Even more unsettling was the testimony of Paris Jackson, the daughter of the King of Pop. She was also claimed to see her father's spirit in that place. Gone are the days of the merry-go-rounds and Ferris wheels. The echoes of children's laughter silenced forever. The music that once filled the air now whispers mournful tunes in the chilling winds that sweep through the estate's desolate grounds, a sad shadow of its former self. Despite Micheal Jackson's death in 2009, the property has not been sold. It seems that there's a stigma with that ranch. The ghost of accusations still live on there, a dark stain left on that place. They even tried renaming the ranch to rebrand it. They call it Sycamore Valley Ranch now. Not that it's helped. The property, after being renamed, has reemerged on the real estate market. The centerpiece of the estate, the grand 12,000 square foot main house, stands as a monument of the past, a relic of a bygone era. Through extensive restoration, it has been returned to its former glory with a $100 million price tag. But it seems the rumors of its haunting has kept buyers away. Neighbors claim that no one can stay more than one night there. For now, the property still belongs to the man in the mirror. And there you have it, 5 real-life celebrity ghost encounters. Remember, the next time you feel a chill in that dark room at night, it might just be a ghostly celebrity paying you a visit. Don't forget to ask for that autograph. If you have a story you want to be made into a video, you can submit it by emailing to broadcaster7@thenightsIgnal.com. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy our content. Your support helps keep the Night Signal broadcasting. And as always, this is Broadcaster 7 asking, are you receiving the Night Signal?